Hey everyone, Ellie here. In today's video I'm going to be doing a Q&A to mark my 18 months in remission, which feels amazing to me. I just feel great that I can come on this video and say, hey, I'm 18 months in remission, because with my type of cancer, the first 12 months is very risky for relapse, and a lot of my friends with the same cancer as me relapse within those first 12 months. So, to get this far makes me feel good. It makes me have a little bit more hope. So on my Instagram, on my Facebook, I asked you guys to send me in some questions, and you guys did. It was so hard to pick between the questions because they were all so good. But yeah, let's get started. B.Rogan04 asks, is relapse always in the back of your mind somewhere? Do you know if you could handle more chemo to beat it again? That's a good question. Relapse is always in the back of my mind. I try not to dwell on it too much, but when I get an ache or pain or something feels a bit abnormal on my body, then of course it jumps straight to the front of my mind. But I try, to be logical about things and, try not to, think about it too much. And I think I could definitely handle more chemo if I had to beat it again, because I'm 18 months from remission now. My body's had a chance to recover and heal. But, it wouldn't be the hardcore stuff that I got the first time round. Shine Bright Bundles asks, do you think you'll ever go back to running again? I don't know, because one day I really want to do the London Marathon, so I think I will at some point, but for now, not at the moment, just because I'm not so good at intense sports. I still have to, recover a little bit and build up my stamina. So running, and also it's quite hard on the joints, and my joints are still, not very recovered from the treatment because they got really achy and sore during treatment. So the answer to that is maybe. Loose_Smith XX asks, do you think your passion to become a doctor is partly to do with the fact that you've spent so much time in hospitals over the past few years? I think it definitely is. I think in some ways I want to give back. The doctors were so good to me, so I want to give back and care for other people. But I think the main reason for it is that, being immersed in that medical world really opened me up to realise that medicine is actually my passion. I'm so interested in it like nothing else. I'll watch every medical documentary going. I love it, and I'm just so excited because I really want to go to medical school and be a doctor, so I think that'll be awesome because medicine is my passion, and without my cancer diagnosis, I probably wouldn't have even known that it was my passion and would have gone on to something else. So yes, definitely my cancer journey and being in hospitals definitely swayed me to be a doctor. And she also asks, what kind of area do you want to specialise in as a doctor? I'm not sure yet, but I definitely want to do paediatrics, or maybe even emergency medicine, but I'm not sure yet. Laura Caramelli asks, sorry if I got that wrong, have you been able to start doing sports while you were in remission? And the answer to that is yes. It took a little while to get into it, but now I'm with this charity called Move, and they're really amazing because they're the only charity in the UK that helps teenagers who have cancer get back into fitness and exercise after their cancer treatment. So I've been on their virtual program, and it's a 16-week program where they tailor all these exercises and stretch workouts and stuff like that to me, so that I can build up my strength, build up my stamina. So I've been doing stuff like yoga, like circuit exercises, like squats, lunges, all of that kind of thing, and I'm actually really enjoying it at the moment because I need to get my strength up, get my stamina up. So yeah, I have been. Oh, this is a good question. Layla_1_Chicago_ asks, have people ever teased or bullied you because of your cancer? So I wouldn't say I've been teased, but I certainly maybe been discriminated or bullied. There was this boy at school who took exception to the fact that people were raising money for me, and he went out of his way to message me on Facebook to say, you shouldn't get this money raised for you because you've got an iPad, you've got a house, you've got a loving family, what more could you need? And I'm just like, do you realise that I have a very high risk cancer that I could die from? This money is raised for bucket list stuff. And he just could not understand that. I just didn't give him the time of day at the end of it. And I actually heard after that he'd been spreading rumours that I relapsed and I was going to die. Which, why would you say that about someone? So that, you know, it made me feel bad just because I thought, oh, does everyone think this about me? Does everyone hate me? So he made me feel really insecure about the kids at school. But, you know, it turned out it was only him who thought this stuff. And, you know, I hate idiots like that. And I've also had things where some people took exception to the fact that I've, you know, survived cancer, and maybe their grandparents or uncle or auntie didn't, so they think, oh, Ellie shouldn't, my relative should have survived, Ellie shouldn't have. And I'm like, I have no, you know, authority in that situation. Just because I survived doesn't mean that they didn't. It, you know, it blows my mind what some people think, and it really surprised me actually how people reacted. Now this is a really good question which I would have never thought of myself. Joyful_Hannah asks, so happy for you, dear Ellie. Thank you. Question, anything you wish your doctors knew, did during your cancer treatment or during remission? E.g. anything you wish they said, haven't said, or did, haven't done? I think this is a really cool question actually. So I kind of wish that my doctors, well, they're not my doctors now, but the doctors who first treated me, you know, were a little bit more open with me, because I basically went into hospital with an abscess, and, you know, that's what I was known to have, an abscess. They opened it up so that there was some abnormal cells in there, which wasn't an abscess, but I could go home in 7 days. So nothing about cancer turned up, nothing. So on the 7th day, I was like, yeah, I'm getting out here, I'm going home. But instead, the doctors, you know, called my mum over and basically said that we are 99.9% sure that she has cancer. And I don't know, like, I kind of wished that, you know, they said to me after the surgery that there's a possibility that it could be cancer, we're not sure yet, whatever. Because then I would have at least been prepared, because on that 7th day, it was like a whirlwind of emotions. I was told that I may have cancer, and then literally the next day, I had to rush off to Nottingham Hospital. So it was all very rushed, and I think that could have been done better, being a bit less traumatizing. I also think that the doctors could have been a little bit better with spotting my signs of mental health. I had mental health during treatment for a long time undiagnosed, because I didn't really know what it was either. But I think they should definitely ask me questions tailored to that. So I think that could really help a lot of people suffering with mental health who don't really know what it is, like me. So I think that could have definitely been done better. So I received a lot of questions about my fears going into remission, so I'll use this one. Caitlin G, not sure how to pronounce that, _ another question, when going into remission, what was your biggest fear? So I would definitely say relapse, but I think now that I'm 18 months in remission, I think my fear of relapse is actually bigger. I know that sounds weird, but because I've experienced 18 months of living normally, just, you know, the thought of going through all that treatment again just freaks me out so much. Whereas when I went straight into remission, obviously because I was so used to that cancer life with all the treatment, it wasn't like it was my biggest fear at that moment, but I feel like it's not as big as it is now, if that makes sense. Bolger Girl asks, did you find making cancer friends easy? I really struggled because I was so nervous. I'm going on the Ellen MacArthur Cancer Sailing Trust trip, on Tuesday, and I'm so scared to make friends. I think that you definitely shouldn't be nervous about the Ellen MacArthur sailing trip, because it's so amazing. Everyone's in the same boat. You know, excuse the pun there. But everyone's going to be nervous. Everyone's going to be a little bit scared. So just, you know, have the best time ever, because it is the best time ever. And don't worry, you know, the fear of making friends will soon be at the back of your mind. In a way, I think making cancer friends was easier for me than normal friends, just because, you know, when you meet a cancer friend, you've instantly got something in common and you almost relate to each other on another level. Whereas with other friends, I feel almost a bit intimidated by people my own age and making friends with them, just because I just fear that they won't get me, because I'm a bit more mature than the average person my age, purely because of what I've been through. So I just feel like I won't get on with them as well, and I have had experiences where I don't get on with them as well as a cancer friend, just because they talk about maybe like normal teen stuff, whereas I don't really talk about that as much. I usually just talk about cancer stuff and doing my blog and all of that. Sorry if I pronounce this crazily wrong, but Smirity_Kumta asks, how did you be positive in one of the hardest times one can have? What inspired you? I think my positivity really just stemmed from the fact that I thought I need to make the most of this journey. It's going to be an 18 months long haul. Can't be depressed for all of it. So that was it. And, you know, my mum really inspired me, because she was like, we're going to fight this together. We're going to stay strong. So, and also what else inspired me was everyone around me was rooting for me and being so positive for me and saying I was strong. So that gave me a little bit of confidence, and it made me think I need to be positive for them. I need to, you know, show people that cancer is not like super depressing. It is, but I need to be positive and have a positive mindset and fight through this. Charlotte.AliceX asks, what are some of the best things that you've done in the 18 months? This is a hard question because I've done so many amazing things. I think New York definitely has to be up there with one of the best things, because New York was absolutely amazing. And of course, doing the mental health video for the news, that was awesome, because I really wanted to talk about that. And also doing the Teenage Cancer Trust advert, the Gamer Girl, that was awesome. And of course, the Ellen MacArthur Sailing Trust trips. I just think there's been so many amazing things. I've been so lucky. That is a really hard question. John Marzo asks, how's your social life, boys, since remission? Love ya, Ellie. What social life, John? I literally don't have a social life, which I'm fine with. You know, I'll meet up with my friends every so often. We'll go for a walk down the lakes, but that's about it. And definitely no boys. Yeah, just I don't have time for boys, and I'm just not ready for dating yet at all. So yeah, that's basically it. My social life is 0, but I'm happy with that. Hannah Kalau asks, what's the hardest thing that you found during chemo? I think the hardest thing was literally just being exhausted and nauseous and literally being wiped out more than you could ever imagine. I think that was really hard for me mentally to process that, oh my god, I was going to go into this chemo session and literally be wiped. And it's hard to prepare yourself to get that ill. So I think all the build up and anticipation for the next chemo session was really difficult for me, because, you know, it is really mentally draining to go into a hospital and make yourself ill. So that was really difficult. Hannah_Cats asks, did you find it hard to go back to school after everything? I would probably say no, because, you know, I went through all the chemo. I was ready to go back because I was just done with all the intensive chemo. I was like, yes, let's go back. So no, I didn't really find it hard, although because especially I had like a few months left of school before the new school year that I would repeat. So I was able to just get one-on-one tutoring, so it wasn't like I was thrown back into lessons with all my peers straight away, which was good for me because it meant I was able to catch up with a one-on-one tutor, so I was lucky that I had that option. But then obviously going back to school, like, you know, into normal lessons and repeating the school year with completely new peers was obviously a little bit intimidating, but I was so ready for it. I was like, yes, back to school, back to studying, because I was a very academic person anyways, so going back to school was literally my goal. So my piece of advice to anyone going back to school is just, you know, take it easy, do a part-time schedule at first, and it is going to be hard, but especially with the whole social thing, just try and make people comfortable with you by initiating conversations with them first, because more than often people are going to be a little bit nervous to talk to you because you are the cancer kid. So it will be easier than you think. Nikki Bond SPN asks, how did you motivate yourself to study whilst dealing with everything else? I think I did this because everything else was so tragic and horrible that studying was my one thing that I was good at and I enjoyed doing. So that's how I motivated myself, because it was something separate from the cancer world. So I couldn't do sports or anything like that. So studying was my hobby. Okay, last question is by RD_Rach, who asks, you're an amazing young woman. Thank you very much. I know you are changing the world for people battling cancer and for those in treatment. My question is, you have kicked cancer's butt. Will you please write a book? People have asked me about writing a book, but at this moment, no. I'm much more into like doing the blogs and the videos. Just writing a full book about my cancer journey. When I say to people that I feel like I couldn't fit up my cancer journey in a whole book just because it might be a bit too short, they're like, what? But yeah, I don't know how I'd construct a book about my cancer journey, but it may be something that I do in the future, who knows. But yeah, thanks for all the questions, guys. You know, makes me feel very happy that all of you, like loads of you, submitted questions, and so many amazing questions as well. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'll wrap up this video now. Thank you everyone so much for all the support during remission. I think one of my big fears in remission was that because I was in remission and not going through treatment, people would be like, oh yeah, she's fine now, we won't continue following her or watching her videos. But the opposite has actually just happened. I think more people have watched my videos, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to everyone. Love you loads. And yeah, see you in the next video.